The question directed at David and Craig. Do either of you have any experience of urban consolidation and the benefits gained from urban consolidation, particularly with food chain delivery, and the benefits from the point of view of return journey consolidation feeding into return trips?
Limited experience, it has to be said, where a number of our customers do use consolidation, and they use it extremely well for niche goods such as spices and specialty goods, but I'm no expert in consolidation and the success or otherwise of it, I'm afraid.
Yes, I'm sorry, I don't have that much to add to what Craig has said on that, really. But by consolidation, you mean something different to sharing transport with a third-party operator?
Yeah, that's right. DHL have had a demonstration running in Bristol. There's also a Norwich demonstration that I think has failed. There seems to be predominant issues around lack of cooperation, but the benefits have been proven to be quite considerable, but due to the lack of cooperation, it doesn't seem to be taking off. And I just wonder whether there's any policies or direction from the industry, particularly you guys on the food chain side, that would assist the development of this concept, which clearly has a considerable impact on CO2 reduction.
Right. Well, I guess key to it is getting some projects off the ground and getting some benefits that can be promoted as case studies. That's the kind of approach that we work to. But apart from that, I have not much to add to your question.
Okay, I think I would add one thing on that, is that the initiatives that all of the supermarkets have that we're working with, which includes Tesco, Sainsbury's, Asda and Morrison's, is all about improving vehicle fill, not necessarily just through consolidation, but I think it has exactly the same effect in that you're reducing the number of empty miles that are driven by trucks. I think the initiatives in Bristol in particular was around emission reduction, in urban emission reduction, as much as it was anything else. And the challenges there are about synchronising deliveries to achieve very narrow window of getting all the food delivered, for example, before 9 o'clock in the morning or before 5 o'clock in the morning for fresh. And those challenges won't go away. So whether there's a big future for consolidation in foods in the way the Bristol pilot's working or not, I think is the jury has to be out on that, because of practicalities more than anything.
Any more questions on the floor? Oh, there's one over here. Thank you.
And you say the supermarkets are consolidating or wishing to speak to people on this issue, but we still find that we're getting orders for 3 pallets, 4 pallets of stock instead of 26. So there is a lot of waste still in that. How can we get our customers or the supermarkets or to actually give us better orders?
Yes, I think that's a really interesting one, because the aim that the supermarkets have had is to reduce the stock in their supply chain and therefore increase order frequency and reduce order size. That's been a natural thing that they've done over the last 10 years and more, reducing space in the back of store for warehousing and improving the efficiency of deliveries, which is what we've been involved with all of them to do. I think that until the cost outweighs the benefit of ordering small quantities, then they will carry on doing so. And that's interesting, role of consolidation I was talking about earlier, not urban consolidation, but distribution centric consolidation. That's one area that they are increasing, and people like Bowie's Distribution up in the northwest and others are consolidating huge number of small suppliers products, but it's all about economics at the end of the day for them. It's not their CO2 emissions that are being measured to make those deliveries, unfortunately. And when it is, then maybe they'll take that into account in the order quantities. But at the same time, the efficiencies they're trying to achieve through better use of their vehicles, that's all good. but it's not going right up to the supplier base at the moment. And I'm not sure, from our side, I'm not sure of many initiatives that are helping there. David?
No, I don't have much to add to that one. I'm sorry.
I think what you might find is that as fuel prices increase and the cost of transport becomes more and more an issue, they will find ways of cooperating better. Because I think it will be a bit of a stick that's required, and the stick may well be the fact that they will be charged more for their carbon, either through the fuel or through some other way. Any more questions on... Oh, there's a question on the floor.
I've recently taken on shopping online for my groceries. Do you guys see much movement from the supermarkets in that direction as a way of consolidating their shipments and movements? And are you seeing any incentivisation of the supermarkets towards their customers to move that area of the market forward?
From our point of view, I think all of them that are running big fleets of vans are trying to move as much as they can to electric vans, and hence my mention at the end there of assisting them in that through better management of the electric vehicles. If I remember rightly, electric vehicles will overall, if you're burning fossil fuels to power the electric, to create the electricity in the first place, I think is it 0.3 grams CO2 versus 0.46 in a diesel van. It's something like that. So it's about a 50% improvement in CO2 emissions, roughly speaking. So a lot of them are trying to make that move. In terms of the economics of reduce, the carbon used in making a home delivery versus you going to the shop and filling up your car and making that trip. I recall research that says there's not much in it in terms of the carbon emissions between you going to the supermarket and you getting your delivery on the doorstep. I don't know if you, John, you've got any other stats than that.
It does actually. I think there's a generational thing here where. If I take my children, they do a lot of online ordering, and in fact the more people do it, the more efficient it will be for the Tesco's and the Waitroses and the Asda's to deliver at home. At the moment there's a sort of transition where traditionalists like me actually quite like wandering around the shops and touching and feeling what I buy. But I think as the generations move on, it will be more acceptable, and therefore it will become much more efficient, and there will be a reduction in the overall carbon usage through fuel and deliveries.
Thanks for answering that. The reason I was driving at is by pre-ordering groceries, the suppliers will be able to better arrange their logistics and consolidate their orders. So I was wondering if you were seeing any move in the market motivated by that to push the consumers towards pre-ordering their food.
The way it works at the moment is the volumes are way too small to have an impact on order size, and 90% plus of home shopping, food home shopping, is done picked from shelf, not picked from warehouse. So that means your local Asda, they'll be picking off the shelves the same as you would with their little trolleys. So to John's point, when there's a critical mass, i.e. 30% plus of groceries being bought online, then there'll be a switching point where all the economies start to turn around. But at the moment, it's just way too small to have any impact at all. If we all switch to buying online, I think that would be good for everybody. But then you get loads more electric vans going around the place rather than us driving our cars to the supermarkets.
The only caveat I would add to that is what people actually do with that freed up time. If they then do another additional journey somewhere else, then obviously you're mitigating the effect. That's
well, they could be feeding and watering their vegetables in the garden. Maybe.
Well, I'm now getting the cut-off sign, so I must draw this to a close. Thank you very much to our panel, and thank you very much for listening. Thank you.